On this edition of How is DOGE Impacting the DC Real Estate Market, I'm going to look at days on market, look at actual data, and share with you how nuanced it actually is, looking beyond the headlines. Days on market is just one metric we can use to compare areas and property types. It gives us a pulse on supply versus demand, shows us how many homes there are for sale compared to how many buyers are out there. Now, some homes sell in a day, others sit for months. That's why I like to use the median instead of the average, because averages are more skewed by outliers like overpriced listings or new construction that sits on the market for a long time. Days on market is a lagging indicator, and if my econ degree taught me anything, it's that means it is showing us what has happened in the past, not necessarily where we are today or predicting the future. Comparing to 2024, we do see some changes. DC saw an increase from 19 to 28 days on market. That is a 47.4% increase. But if we keep it in perspective, a well-priced home selling in under 30 days is still a pretty solid market. If there's only one thing you take away from this video, it's that no two neighborhoods are alike. Take Brookland or Capitol Hill South, for example. In both areas, days on market is down over 50% year over year. On the other hand, there are neighborhoods that have seen massive increases. Let's take a closer look at Columbia Heights, 20010. The median days on market dropped from 69 in February to 22 in March. That's a major shift in just a month. But within that very same zip code, condos and other types of properties are behaving very differently. Condos have a median days on market of 75, while all other properties is just at 22. Looking a little farther out, to compare 2024 versus 2025, we see pretty typical seasonality. But what's really different now is that condos and other types of properties are not trending in the same trajectory in this zip code. But this isn't the case everywhere. For example, just next door in 20001, condos and non-condos are trending together and both have median days of market of 23. So that's a completely different story. And in Foggy Bottom, the trend flips. Condos are at 25 days on market and all other home types are at 40. It's a complete reversal. So what does all of this mean? We're not in a single DC market. We're in 1,000 micro markets, and each one is behaving differently. As for DOGE, yes, job security and funding cuts are going to be making some buyers and sellers cautious. But I personally think the bigger factor right now is still interest rates. They're high. They're impacting demand across all groups, regardless of profession, political affiliation, or where somebody works. And I'm not here saying that there's not going to be impacts on the housing market from what's happening in the federal government. But what I am saying is that a lot of the news headlines aren't painting the full picture, and we really don't know what the impacts will be.